I'd like to welcome up very good friend, colleague, partner in crime for this journey. On his bank statement it says Dr. John Mervyn Smith, but we know him as Dr. GC. Come on up, please, John, come on.
Yeah, morning everyone and welcome. Lovely to see so many familiar faces.
We've got a little 20-25 minute slot just to talk a bit about why we're here, how we got here, and then a little bit about the future. It's about our journey, and it's been quite a journey, John, hasn't it?
Been a bit of a journey, yes, I can just about remember it.
It didn't start last week.
It didn't.
No.
It didn't. And our quest did start with a question, if you recall, a question that you posed to me, and most of you will know this history of what people who drive transformational change. What do they look like? That was our starting point many years ago.
You were a bit suspicious at first, weren't you?
Listen, I'm a strategist polisher and an academic, so I was bound to be a bit cynical. Didn't think that we would get very far with our journey, but here we are. Here we are,
and we've just been discussing this quite a bit, and along this journey, which is 5 years to today, isn't it, is really been a bunch of aha moments, some of which you guys have been part of, but those moments you go, yeah, okay, that sort of hits you in the middle of the night or when you look at a bit of data, and we thought we'd just go through some of those, and we'd start off with your one, which I think actually got you more excited.
Yeah, in a couple of ways really, because most of you will know that we spent probably 18 months, 2 years actually just doing some research and gathering some data, me continuing to be cynical and wondering what we were doing. But we realized at one point, and that was an aha moment, that we weren't chasing shadows, that these people we tagged as game changers actually did exist. And increasingly they were coming to life for us with people we met, folk in here, who were telling us with a very serious face that they wanted to change the world. And more than that, they could see a way of using the GC index to help them with those ambitions, whether it was changing the world of recruitment, of education, life for young people, the world of work, transformational change. A whole range of possibilities were beginning to emerge that crystallized these. They became real for us, didn't they?
Yeah, that got you on the bus, really, didn't it? It
got me on the bus,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
GC bus. So the next aha moment for me, we affectionately tag as Group CIO of Orange versus pizza. And it was in 2015, we're at TM Forum's CIO event. We've got a couple of people from TM Forum, Joe, Robert, Laura somewhere. There we are. Hi, Laura. And we just finished presenting the Game Changer research. We've identified this individual called the Game Changer. That's all we had at the time. And we presented, it went really well. Come off stage, got 5 or 6 quite very senior people, like very senior people in the world of telco. And particularly Pascal, the group CIO of Orange. And so he's really keen to talk with us and discuss what he sees in the data. And so I finally find John. John's not there. I called John. John, where are you? I'm having a pizza. I said, John, I've got a group CIO of Orange here that wants to kind of talk about this thing we've been working on for the last couple of years. He quite likes it. Don't care, I'm having a pizza. Yeah. It's just arrived.
Listen, I was doing field research. I was observing game changers in their natural habitat. Yes, I let you down. I get the message.
Well, no, so eventually, and if any of you have been to these, some of you have, there's a lovely hall, and I remember just walking past and seeing John and this group CIO of Orange, Pascal, has been a wonderful supporter. Yeah. For 2 or 3 hours, you were just sketching out, and it was the first shape of the model that became the GC index that you know it today. Yeah.
And I think I recall you getting particularly excited, sort of noticeably excited, with what we call the emergence of the playmaker.
Yeah, the emergence of the playmaker, again, something just hit me. Do you know when you're having a meeting with 2 people and you can hear white noise? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, they talk. So we had John and Professor Adrian Furnham are just in the room going over and over all these stats and stuff. Oh, it's a bit boring. Yeah, but what? And they kept talking about the playmaker. But what flashed into my head, now probably only Vivian will know this, maybe Ketan, was I kept seeing an image of Xavi Hernandez, who I guess most of you don't know.
They'll start yawning in a
Yeah,
minute.
right.
Careful.
So I've got one football analogy.
Okay,
you said.
just one. Yeah.
And so Xavi Hernandez is possibly one of the best footballers that ever lived. Yeah, and he plays with Barcelona, who you've heard of. He plays with a man called Messi, who you've probably heard of. Yeah, but Xavi Hernandez is one of the best players that ever lived, and he just sat in the middle of the park, and he didn't make all the impact by scoring the goals and making big tackles. He just let everyone be the best they can be, understated, and probably just goes unnoticed and unrewarded. And that's what these guys were articulating scientifically about the playmaker. Football analogy over, but that's all I could see when you and Professor Adrian were talking.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think the excitement for me was that sense that we were beginning to capture something that hadn't really been clearly articulated in that way with other psychometrics and instruments. So that it was an aha moment.
And actually, I've probably got a bit too quickly, but the playmaker, in my mind, is the biggest discovery about the GC index. We can actually start measuring something that has historically been
that will please Mike
intangible,
O'Dell.
fluffy. Yeah. Okay. And then you got quite excited by this notion of impact. And this was a number of aha moments that hit us with this notion of impact. I remember, do you remember this? I remember exactly where I was, in my garage. If everyone knows, I like DIY, and I renovated my garage into an office because I had the third kid. But I remember being there giving Aaron Miller, used to be a senior Bain partner, very senior Bain partner in Boston, the hardest place to be a partner. And we did his GC index profile, early days, and he come out as a 2 strategist. And Andrew Gray, who sat over there somewhere, one of my colleagues, said, well, this can't work, this GC index stuff. How the hell can he best be a 2 strategist, because he's a senior Bain partner? He was an 8 game changer, 7 playmaker, and he said it made perfect sense to me. He says, this is why my clients like me. They like me because I've got great ideas and I take them with me on a journey in places they can't get to.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it does get quite serious for us, doesn't it? I think in terms of the significance of what we were learning from this and the implications of what we were learning. And we want to just reflect on this for a while longer, because we all know, and we want to bring this to life a bit, and we've all experienced through our lives being seen through a number of different lenses, whether it's the lens of gender, colour, age, ability, disability. We've all had that experience of being seen, potentially judged through those different lenses. Here we felt a way of understanding impact and contribution, and that was a way of understanding, that was the lens through which we wanted to see people in the world of work. What you care about is what this individual can bring for you and what he's likely to be like to live with and work with. You can tell we feel strongly about this impact and contribution stuff, and that's very much the heart of your work that you will be talking about later, Helen and Andrew. But for us, that's a huge aha.
Big aha moment, so proclivity, impact. And then I think this is where you got really excited.
Oh, really?
I think you're just humouring me through 1 to 4, actually. I think this is where you actually, I think you used the word motherload. No, that was something else.
No,
that was something else.
Yeah.
No, still research related, sorry. Yeah, just in case, yeah.
Are you expecting a repeat of that?
At some point, we haven't stopped. Yeah, come on.
All right.
Come on, this is...
Okay. Okay. Gosh. All right. So I think it was very clear to us, probably about 2 years in, that not only did we see people through that lens of impact and contribution, but we could see the diversity of impact and contribution. We could understand that, and we could understand that in a very systematic way with reference to this multi-dimensional leadership bit. Typically, people have strengths, talents that shapes the way they make their contribution. Now that, for us, was a significant thought about we can understand this diversity. Not only do we know it's there, we can measure it, we can understand it, we can help people to use it. Across all the groups we've worked with, that's constantly been borne out that when people play to talents, however diverse, in a nurturing setting, they can survive and thrive. That was what we cared about. And it was also at odds very much, for me, embarrassingly, if I look back, because typically a view of talent has been very one-dimensional. This is what talent looks like. We've all done it. Predictors of success, competency frameworks, whatever. This is what you need to look like. Let's squeeze you into that mold, make you fit, give you a coach, send you off on something or other to make you fit. And this is proposing a very different way of doing it. It's saying, you're talented, how do we nurture you? How do we get the best out of you? How do we put you in a setting where you're going to thrive and blossom? So there's a very different approach to the world, which seems obvious to us now, but it's interesting how many organisations persist with that old one-dimensional military model style. Anyway, I won't bore you with that, but yes.
And then just finally,
the enough enthusiasm for
that was not bad, John. Actually,
okay.
It's not bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it. You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Okay.
So the last one quickly, and this is really where we are today. Almost this aha moment is about a year, 12 months ago, 18 months ago. Where actually we're solving a language and a framework for any business process, any business problem. And that really is where we're getting to today, and that's really where the present and the future will be about. And I think that's really what everyone's getting very excited about. So we'll get on to that. But thank you, John. It's been a lovely journey so far, up until the present.
Right.
Yeah, we're here today.
We are.
We're at what? Okay. Yeah. So just as a affirming question.
Yes.
So now where are we today? We're here in Hoxton in a jewellery factory. Yeah, it's a jewellery factory apparently. And we did start off in London, but last count with Andy, who's over there with a big camera pointing at me, we're 31 countries made impact. So delivered work in 31 countries so far. That's the polisher bit. I had to put that on the bottom. Yeah, so 31 countries in real launch. So that's just under 2.5 years, Simon, is it? Yeah, roughly. So that's great. Pretty accessible where we are today. We've got a lot of you flying in, even as far away as the South Coast. And then we couldn't have done that without our GCOlogists, John.
No, indeed. Yes, I mean, as I was saying earlier, we very early on started to attract people who saw possibilities that were way beyond what we'd expected. Our worlds are actually relatively narrow, aren't they? And here we are with people who wanted to talk to us, saw the potential of the GC Index tool, wanted to embed it in what they were doing, and that's, as you'll talk about in a moment, is very much shaping our business, shaping our role, helping us to understand our purpose in the world. But it's effectively you lot who are running with this change.
And just to close it, there are so many ways that the GC Index is going to change and impact the world that we don't even know yet. We don't know that yet, because the ideas that people are coming up with from you guys are just constant. And Simon, Strategist implementer, puts 95% we don't even know yet. John and I didn't like the percentage, so we took it out the slide. But there is a lot, yeah? But most importantly, I'm looking forward to all doing it together. Thank you.
Game Changing Impact Challenges, which we organize here at Utility Week, is part of a Game Changing Impact program, which our students enter directly when they enter their master program or their PhD school.
We have 100 students here at the challenges. We have 4 challenges, so there are about 20 teams. Each team consists of about 5 students. And the way we've designed the teams is based on proclivity.
The GC Index is a tool that shows how everybody can contribute to a game-changing impact.
This is Bjorn Kurtzdorfer, Senior Partner at Top Gun Ventures in Dallas, Texas. We are an executive retained search firm with global reach. We've been using the GC Index now for over a year and a half, and we've leveraged it for three primary reasons. One, to do an overall organizational assessment with the client. Secondly, for candidate assessment. We leverage the GC Index insights into understanding how they fit into the organization and the impact that they can have day one and day 1,000. Lastly, we think the tool is excellent for engaging new clients that don't know us, that don't use assessment tools. In a nutshell, it is an amazing tool for us to be effective as business leaders and as retained executive search partners.
اسمي أحمد المخزنجي، محلل بشركة مكمن وجيسيولوجيست معتمد من قبل الجي سي اندكس. مقر عملي بطرابلس ليبيا. نحن نستخدم الجي سي اندكس من ضمن عروض شركة مكمن كأداة لمساعدة زبائننا على استكشاف إمكانيات مواردهم البشرية، سواء كانت فرق أو أفراد ضمن بيئة عملهم كمؤسسة. علاوة على ذلك استخدمنا الجي سي اندكس لتحسين التواصل الفعال ضمن العديد من الفرق، بالإضافة لإعطائهم إطاراً عملياً بإمكانهم استخدامه لاستكشاف مواهبهم وإمكانياتهم الشخصية كأفراد. من أكثر الجوانب التي تعجبني بالجي سي اندكس كونه إطاراً بسيطاً ينظم النقاش بيني وبين الشخص المشارك بشكل فعال ومثمر، أيضاً يسمح لي باستكشاف إمكانياتي وأسلوب عملي بطريقة ممتعة وبعيدة كلياً عن النقاش.
The second part, understanding organizational culture. For this, we teamed up with GC Index, which has, from my perspective, a very interesting approach to organizational culture. Basically, it allows you to get an idea of what is driving people. So it's basically aiming at the proclivity of people. So differentiating strategists, implementers, playmakers, game changers, and polishers. This becomes interesting for organizational development, especially because you can actually discuss on whether a team composition is capable of achieving the targets that you give that team. And so the example I learn most is if you have a team that you task with coming up with an innovative product portfolio, and you don't have people who think out of the box and who really want to do things differently, it's pretty unlikely that these guys will ever come up with something really innovative. So game changers would need to be part of that. On the other hand, if you have only people who can strategize and nobody who actually has implementation as at the core of himself, you'll get brilliant concept and you might be able to open up a new university, but it's very unlikely that you'll be successful as a business.
Hi, Pete Donovan, Managing Partner at Top Gun Ventures based in Dallas. Over the last 15 years, we've really been bringing our clients game-changing leaders and helping them develop game-changing teams to take them to the next level. You know, really it's a bit of an education at first. Not all clients understand the impact of a game changer and what's involved. But once they do understand, everybody wants a game changer on the team. But the big issue that we found is they don't always know how to assimilate a game changer into the organisation. And this is where we've really found the GC Index to be really, really helpful by running the GC Index on the whole team, by everybody understanding their role and how they can contribute to a game-changing team. There's really a new appreciation of not only just how the new leader can help it, but how they themselves can make an impact to a game-changing team. It almost gives them a new purpose in life to go on the next journey for that company.
مرحبا، اسمي عماد الفرجاني، أعمل لدى شركة مكمن وجيسيولوجيست معتمد من جي سي اندكس. مكان عملي طرابلس، ليبيا. عند قيامنا بجلسات التوجيه يأتي دور الجي سي اندكس في مساعدة عملائنا على خلق بيئة عمل متوازنة يكون فيها كل موظف في أي مستوى ذو دور فعال وأثر إيجابي على بيئة عمله. من أكثر الأشياء التي تعجبني في الجي سي اندكس هي سهولة فهمه وعلاقته القوية بتأثير الموظف على بيئة العمل. أما بالنسبة للجي سي اندكس فهو عبارة عن إطار سيكولوجي مبسط للغة العمل يمكن المؤسسات من تكوين فرق التحول الفعالة.